All right, everybody, this is Rev Sue Frederick, and today is our Angel Up Patreon group meeting in August of 2025. So, today, the topic that the angels have given me is spiritual crisis. And I want to talk about that for a moment because when people hear that word, they think, well, I don't have a spiritual crisis. I go to church, or, I'm a Buddhist or I'm a Christian or something. I want all of us to feel deeper into the question of, do we believe that this is a loving, all divine order, conscious universe? That is the spiritual crisis that we face. Because whatever your religion or beliefs are that you believe in, if they are not telling you that this is an all good, all divine order universe run by a loving God source, a loving consciousness of unconditional love, then you may be having a spiritual crisis. And in my client work, I find so many clients who, they go to church for the community, which is why I think churches do serve us. They bring us together. However, they go home feeling like the world has more darkness than light or more bad players than good players. And this is certainly a time in the world where we can believe that by looking around with our human eyes, our ego selves, and seeing everything that's happening in this world. But for this class, I want us to breathe into, and we'll do a guided meditation also, into that higher awareness of our own higher selves and of the God source and the angels that says, all is well with your soul, all is well with the world. And again, that prayer that has always helped us when we need comfort and illumination. Angels, help me, heal me, lift me, love me. As you look out at your world this week, and even your personal life, where of course there's always going to be challenges happening that are unexpected, whether it's backing into a car in a parking lot accidentally, or any kind of health challenge or anything that comes your way. Yes, this earth world is filled with those kind of bumps in the road, little challenges that at the moment, looking at them close up, can feel like, gosh, this is really a terrible world. This is a dark world. There is chaos here. And that's your human mind. That's your ego self telling you that. And when you experience those, I want you to lift up above them. Breathe into that love again and say, I know there is a divine order in all of this. I ask the angels to lift me into that sacred wisdom now. So here is your channeled message for today. Beloved humans, we see your struggles. We know that there is a crisis of doubt in self, and a crisis of doubt in the world. Use us. We are here for you. We have no other job but you. We are your loving support team. No judgment, no guidance needed, just love, just acceptance. Feel our arms around you. Feel us with our hand on your heart. Feel us comforting your pain. We know that hard things come randomly on earth, unexpectedly. And when this happens, close your eyes and call on us. We are always there. We will always lift you above it. We will always love on you. We will always help you angel up, even when your human self denies that we are real. Do not let your human mind convince you that this is not a loving, all good, all God universe. Close your human eyes if that is what you are seeing. and look within and above. Rise into your higher self, however you do that, and look down at the earth realm. You will clearly see there is always more light than darkness. There is always more love than fear. And that is the divine order of consciousness evolving. And so it is. Thank you, my beloveds. That's what they have to say to us today. So, do we have questions, comments? You can unmute yourself. By the way, I wanted to tell you that all of my three Angelette books are now available in hardcover. I can't show it on this camera for some reason, but my three books, Angel Up, The Angel's Guide to Ascension, and The Angel Up Study Guide, and my beloved Angel Up Journal are now all in hardback, which means they're a great gift for people. They're a great gift for all of you. So let's talk about what you struggle with and how I can help you.
I
First of
was
all, this is
go
wonderful.
ahead.
No, I was just want to say it's wonderful. It's not. I brought you the journal, and I'm reading it in the plane.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, I brought them. It's like we're closer to the angels.
That's so good. Yeah, that is a
40,000 feet.
plane. Right, right. You can look down on the earth. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Amber, go.
I was just gonna say, and they're probably less of questions than a comment. Somebody in the angelic ministry course added to the angelic prayer, and I loved it.
Hmm.
And I think I have it right. Help me, heal me, hold me, lift me, love me, lead me. And I've been kind of repeating it in
Yeah.
my head, you know?
Love
But
me, lead me, right? Those two
yeah,
words. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I've found myself a couple of times getting in the car. The car is the hardest place for me to remember my angelic connection.
I know it
People pull
is.
out in front of me and I'll start UMF and blah blah blah. And I'm like, Amber, that is not angelic. Like,
Right,
I have to
right.
remind myself. So, but
Well,
you know,
that's when you can call on the angels and say, Angels, tell me their pain story. Show me who they are. And then you can forgive them.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So anyway, it's a helpful reminder and
Yeah.
also just accepting that I'm human, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna get frustrated. I'm gonna get angry. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
hurt. I'm gonna get my feathers ruffled.
Right.
I just have to recenter myself to that
Yeah. I
angelic
mean, if it was
being, I
easy,
guess.
if
Yeah.
it was easy here, we would not be evolving. We would just be languishing in our pleasure here. And we come here to learn and expand consciousness. So that's why there are also these random events that happen. Humans always want to believe we've got it all under control, right? And so that's when we're feeling, there's a word for it, like, I don't know, just sitting into like, all right, I'm in control here, I got this. That's always when there's going to be some unexpected little bump, and it doesn't have to be a major crisis. I was saying at the beginning about backing into another car in the parking lot accidentally. That happened to me this week, and it was such a shock. It was like, oh, I thought I was paying attention. I thought I could see that. And it really kind of knocked me out of my body. And I went to the angels and said, what is this? And the angel said, always reminding you that you have to look and pay attention, that there is something to learn everywhere. And, those lessons are about the soul nudges, like, okay, then what am I not paying attention to? And refocusing from that angelic perspective. This earth realm is always going to be bumping us into awakening the minute we start to get comfortable and fall asleep.
You know what? As you were talking, I keep thinking of, that thing that people have on their desk with the silver balls, and then one will hit one side and it will
Yeah.
come the other side. I keep thinking about like the state of the world right now and how that ball is whacking us. But
Don't
it's
you
almost
think?
like we need that to get
Yes.
to the other side in a way,
Yes,
you
that's
know?
exactly right. The bad players serve a purpose. Everything has a soul agreement, a divine order to it, even when we don't want to believe that, you know? And yeah, I mean, every kind of darkness possible on earth is being stirred up now to look at. And even in the people who are bogged down in that darkness, they are having their own wake up calls, even if we can't see it because we don't know their whole story and their whole lives, you know. They are having to experience that darkness because that needs to come out of them for them to be able to live in the light. So, this is the process of them purging it, so to speak. So, they're not having a good time either. None of us are playing here right now. This is not a easy easy world for anyone. And I'm so grateful that I get to work with clients every day because you start thinking, gosh, other people don't seem to be feeling all this energy as much as me or struggling. And then you just talk to a random person, lives anywhere else other than you, and has a completely different life, and they're going to be telling you how they're struggling. And you're like, we are definitely a collective of consciousness here. You guys talk. I'm going to drink some water.
Thanks, Sue.
Yeah, thank you. Drink some water. Well, um, yeah, I mean, we always say like, for everyone in the universe and everything is a divine timing. I'm wondering, my sister and I had a conversation about a couple of her friends today, and we are very, very good with each other. I mean, it was very beautiful. And she's saying that her friends, not one, but two, don't really hear the signs. There's so much darkness, they cannot hear. They can not see it. They become physically ill now. They go over and beyond and beyond to protect the life as it is.
Their
And
beliefs. Yeah.
and they stuck in their beliefs and they're so much talent. One of them is in 11 too,
Yeah.
and she is just not coming out of her. She goes over the signs out of fear to be alone and is miserable, and it's terrible to watch. Yeah,
Yeah.
what
Well,
is
let me
that?
let me just share. I'm just muting because somebody's phone is buzzing. Let me just share, this title of these books, Angel Up, is not a random thing. And what it means is that as we hit our stride in life, we might let our angel guard down, so to speak. And whenever we wake up, we remember that we have to walk through this earth life angeled up rather than lawyered up, angeled up with the angels around us. When you see friends and people you love who are lost in the earth struggles, you cannot fix them and you cannot change them. You can angel up them by sending them love. And we'll do a meditation briefly today where we just travel around the world. And when we see people lost in their darkness and their pain and their fear, we're sending angels to them and holding them in love. And, that is our practice as angelic ministers. And logic and discussion is not going to help them. That is not what's going to help them change their mind. I have a lot of beloved people in my life, family of origin members who definitely struggle to quiet their minds and not be lost in fear and negativity. And at first, I always try to argue or discuss with them in a logical way, and that just doesn't go anywhere. So then, when I pull back and just sort of send them angels and love and light and hold them in that presence, we talk about that in my class, seeing someone and holding them in love until you see them looking up back at you in so much love and then release. that is the only way to help somebody else angel up. Any comments? And you can unmute yourselves when you speak. We seem to have some background noise today. So, any questions? Hey, Marcia. Marcia, did you want to say anything to us? All right, I'll come.
Yes. Good
There we are. Hey, sweetheart.
afternoon. Hi. I'm so sorry I'm late. I just get
No,
totally,
it's okay. I'm just so happy to see you.
I'm so thrilled to be here. So thrilled. And as usual, I'm having trouble registering for your class. So what I'm going to have to do is Venmo you.
Okay, I'll reach out to you afterwards, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Oh, I'm so glad we got Marcia in the class.
I'm
Yay.
I'm very, and it's so funny. I'm 3 hours ahead. So when you said 6 o'clock, I'm like, woohoo, 9 o'clock here.
That's
Well,
right.
but guess what? On the
What?
24th of October, I'm going to Seattle. So it'll
Oh
be
no.
6 o'clock. And then on the 29th, we're going to Hawaii. So it'll be 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, listen, Marcia, they're going to be recorded, so don't worry. When you're in those places, you can sleep in.
I may get up in Seattle. I'm not sure about Hawaii. 3 o'clock in the morning is,
No, I don't want you getting up at 3 in the morning. I want you to sleep well. We love you so much.
thank you. I love you. And I'm
Yeah.
so excited about the class. And this is my first time flying since the stroke. So I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone.
You are. And we're going to send angels with you to Seattle and to Hawaii. So
Thank
Hawaii sounds awesome. I'm so
I'm
happy.
so excited. We're going to the Big Island and
Wow.
then we're going to Kauai. And I've been to both, but not since the stroke, obviously. And I'm so excited.
That's a
And
very sacred place. I'm really glad you're getting to go there.
yeah, I have a real sense I am to go there. And I have to share about my daughter. She's
Mhm.
amazing. She's really been leery of having a woo-woo mom forever and ever. Well, now she has her Reiki master. She's doing Reiki. She's doing readings for people, and she's in training to become a shaman. And she's so funny. She goes, I went kicking and screaming, but it's so clear I'm supposed to do this.
I love it. I tell you what, our daughters do go kicking and screaming to this stuff because they don't want to be their mom.
Yes.
I'm even seeing evidence of it in my own daughter, who's an acupuncturist. And even though that's about energy and all kinds of Chinese chi stuff,
Mhm.
she has really resisted her woo-woo mom.
Yes.
But now when we talk, I mean, in the things she says, I can feel she's definitely leaning into it. You can't be a healer and not realize that there's more to what's going on than our physical selves.
No,
So that practice calls all of us to step up sooner or later.
it does. And it is just so exciting to see her and to be a part of that. And we have conversations about it, and it's wonderful.
I'm so
Uh,
happy. That
well,
is a great blessing.
thank you. It is. And thank you so much to you and to everyone here. I just love this group.
Oh, we love you so much, Marcia. You're in our hearts so deeply.
Thank you. And you're in mine.
Oh, okay. And Amber, there was just something that I thought we should talk about with you and your work, and now I can't remember what it is, but do you want to share about your questionnaire that's going out? Because some of these people here might enjoy using it too.
Sure. So as I think everybody knows, I'm working on a book, I'm working on a documentary, and I'm trying to raise money for the documentary. I had reached out to some producer directors who have some street cred, and they both gave me, they're very different. They both gave me the same advice, and that was get some intellectual property out there, focus on the book first, and then it will give you some gravitas when you go to sell the documentary. So I go back to the book, I'm working away at it. I'm like, this is not like a quick thing. Like it's really, I'm taking hundreds of pages of journals and trying to make it into a cohesive book.
Yeah.
And it's not a quick process. So one of my sister mamas, like I have a little group of mamas that, who have children in spirit. One of my sister mamas called me and she's like, you need to write an ebook. And she said, and you can use it to raise money for the documentary. And I'm like, all right, what do I know about? Well, the catalyst for all of this was signs from my son.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what? And also in the beginning, like in early grief, I couldn't read a book. I couldn't read dense text.
Right.
Had this idea of making an ebook of signs, very simple, almost like, mommy's first book of signs, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like basically this is what this is about and why we're writing it. This is, what is a sign? How do you combat doubt? What are the categories of signs? What do you do if signs slow down, etc.? And so yesterday in meditation, I just got this basically a message in meditation, like, why don't you put together a questionnaire and maybe some helping parents heal parents will want to participate.
Yeah.
So I worked on that yesterday and I think it's ready to go and I'm going to read
I
out.
think it's really good, Amber. And the great thing is, even if only half of the HPH parents fill that out, you have incredible data about how, parents who have a child in spirit have been contacted by their departed children. And, like we were talking about how the dads grieve differently than the moms, the dads will love that data. So many people will love that idea that, gee, this percentage of grieving parents has incredible signs that begin pretty soon after their child crosses. So that's going to be such important data for the world, and it will open doors for your documentary. That's
Oh,
great.
that's actually a good point about that I should add to the questionnaire because I soft published it, but maybe like when did they start? How
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
child went in spirit. I mean, in my case, they started the very day. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, I'm excited about it and I feel like I can see the path. Like
Hmm.
I kind of know what to write next. It's not like the book that's sort of like a puzzle
Overwhelming.
that I'm
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
putting together. So
Yeah.
anyway, thank you for asking about that. And yeah, I'm open to any suggestions or input.
Well, Annette, as a parent, has a child in spirit, would you fill out, excuse me, would you fill out a form like that with Amber when it's ready?
Of course I would. Yeah.
You got your first customer, Amber.
Especially if it comes from member, of course. But yeah, of course I would fill it out. I mean, I can say a lot to many signs I got, which are very, I mean, so surprising,
Right.
you know.
Right.
I sometimes my Buddhist knowledge kicks in a little bit and says, well, they're in the bardo, how can they do that like this, so I'm getting mingled up into the old
Right. The old beliefs.
way
Yeah.
of looking at it,
Right.
you know
Well,
so
as
then
we've talked about before in this class, every religion has a dogma to it and a beautiful
yeah,
connection to the God source as well. But the dogma, it's just ironic. It's just strange that whether it's Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, they all say, let the departed spirits go and move on. And then the beautiful quantum physicists come along and go, hold on, people, this is not time and space is not linear. That's a
yeah,
human mind process of believing that.
yeah, it's all different ways of looking at
Right,
it, and
right.
some have very strong rules about it, and
Yeah, very
then
strong
you think,
rules. I
yeah,
know.
and then you wonder, you start the self-doubt because it can't adhere to the rule, but at the same time you feel and sense it and
But
so
the
much,
self-doubt is when
yeah,
we doubt our
hmm,
own inner knowing
right,
instead of honoring it And, I've told you all that when Paul died and I was 29, he was with me instantly. He was showing me things, teaching me things, showing me how free and happy he was to be out of the body, traveling around, and Chrissy taking me around to see our friends in spirit. Um, then I'd go and talk to a Hindu teacher I had. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's bad for the spirit. And then if you go talk
Yeah.
to your Catholic priest about it, they'll say, oh no, that's the work of the devil. And so when we sit back and ponder that, why would humans choose to have a dogma that is fear-based
Mm.
about the continuation of the soul, the eternal life of the soul, when all religions are teaching the eternal life of the soul? I feel like if there's one thing we are here to break through now in this time and space in the world, it is that belief in death and that departed loved ones, we have to let them go, when all of us know in our heart that is not how it works. And when they come back, it's pure love, pure light, pure awareness. And boy, imagine if the world could really embrace that. And I was listening to a discussion the other day on YouTube with some speaker about this topic, and she said, um, the cynical interviewer said, yes, but what if those are very negative experiences and cause someone to take their own life or something because they want to be in that heavenly place? Well, I can tell you, every spirit, and I've worked with so many grieving people, comes back and says, you have to stay there. You're not done yet. So that's a myth, it's a myth that your departed loved one would come to you and go, I miss you. Come be with me. They never say that. Their soul is in their higher self. Their soul is in the light of the higher realms. They see our purpose here. They see we're still here for a reason, that we have our own soul contract, our own life path here that we're trying to fulfill. I mean, that's what one of the first things from Paul was. I was turning 30 and I didn't want to live here. I didn't want to be on earth. Why do I have to stay? And I know Paul put that numerologist in front of me who said, you've got to stay. You agreed to this certain life path. You have work to do. And I was able to settle in my seat, so to speak, when I heard that and go, okay, well, then there's a real purpose for me to still be here. There's a purpose for all of us to still be here. And that's why we've got to follow that purpose. No, I'm not in any way saying that if someone takes their life that that's bad, because we each have a prescribed, predestined soul exit point. And many very sensitive souls can sense when that is near or coming, and they might go ahead and facilitate that. And that is not a dark or bad act. That is an act of listening to the soul. But the soul is always guiding us in ways that maybe the world can't understand. And that's why we have to sit in the silence and listen and pray and angel up and call the angels to help us and love us. And if anyone listening feels like I have no purpose, no reason to be here, take a moment, breathe into your heart. Say, angels, come, help me, heal me, love me, lift me, help me feel your presence, help me feel my purpose, help me see my next step forward. When we're in that light, there is no doubt why we're here. All right, babies, do you want to go on your guided meditation now?
Mhm. I have one more question
Okay,
regarding that, because I'm struggling a little bit with the unlearning of all the stuff which I learned for 30 something
right,
years,
right.
35 to be exact. So and about cause and effect, and there's
Yes.
karma build, and you're practically sort of like a bomb on two legs. One day it will happen, that something will happen which you didn't anticipate. So to solve that in a way and be only loving and being a loving universe, no matter what you
Right.
had in tow,
Yeah.
that you can let go of and can live with a lot less fear.
Yeah,
because, without obviously initiating
right.
said bad stuff into the world.
And this is something that really bothers me that, when I went from Catholicism, I went to Native American studies, theosophy, unity, but then also I deeply went into Hinduism and Buddhism. I love their meditations. I love their deities. I love their sacred rituals. I mean, nothing gets me aligned with higher self more than sitting in an ashram, listening to the chanting and the music and the incense.
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
know that that is my home base. When I've lived in India in another life, I'm quite sure it is so comforting to me. However, it is a man-made dogma that then comes in and goes, well, your karma is an ongoing thing, and it's almost impossible to get through a lifetime without doing one negative thing. So you are lost in a constant cycle of reincarnation. That is
Mhm.
no better than the Christian dogma story that says, oh, you tell one lie and God is sending you to burn in hell. Those are human made up concepts. Do you
Mhm.
really believe a loving force of unconditional love that the God source is would create a universe that is a cycle of suffering like that? No. And when you go to a higher frequency religion and you really expect to feel the higher teachings there and it disappoints you, then it's your time to really step back and access your own divine guidance and go to the love, go to the light, go to the higher realms for your information. And when we have a departed in spirit, they are always trying to help us. I've told the story of my dad asking me to be Catholic before he died. And he said it so sweetly. He said, Sue, I know where I'm going when I die, and I want to be able to find you there. And he was on his deathbed in the hospital. And he said, would you become Catholic again, so I can find you? So, of course, there was no way that I was going to, hold on a second, there we are. There's no way that I was going to argue with that and say, no, Dad, I'm a Hindu or something. So we called in the priest and I became Catholic and did what I needed to do. And after he crossed, and he cried tears of happiness as I was doing that in the hospital room with him. So I know it was the right thing. And then when he crossed, I kept trying to go to Catholic church every Sunday to make him happy. And then he appeared to me so vividly and said, okay, Sue, now I see it completely differently from here. You don't need to go to that Catholic church anymore. It's so much bigger than that. And when my dad came through and said that to me, and he was so Catholic, it was like, oh, Dad, thank you so much. All right, Amber, yes, please unmute.
I was just gonna say that, one of the things that, I'm gonna write about is some of those blocks, and I just feel like if you look up any medium or mystic or anybody like online, there's a section of debunking.
Right.
And if you believe it, you're almost made to feel like you're ignorant. And it does grieving people such a disservice. And I feel like, you know, communicating with my child across the veil is an act of love.
Of
And this
course.
goes back to what you said in the beginning. So if you are in uh, an organization that isn't led with love, maybe rethink that, because
Yeah.
what could be wrong about reaching out into love with love?
Right. I mean, we are not talking about fear. And there's a big difference, when people go to some psychic or something who goes, oh, this bad thing is going to happen, or if they even say your departed loved one is stuck, and not going into the higher realms, anything that just brings fear and negativity into it, that is human made. That has nothing to do with spirit truth. And I've even had clients come to me and say, a psychic told me that my child was stuck in, well, the Buddhists might call it the bardo, and the Christians might call it purgatory. The Catholics might call it purgatory or hell or, any of those terms. They're completely human made. That is not what the God source teaches. That is not how the God source sends us love. Go read those amazing books by the near-death experiencers like Dr. Eben Alexander, or I've interviewed so many of them on my podcast, Mystical Conversations. I just did one a few weeks ago with beautiful Trisha Barker, who had an amazing near-death experience during surgery. And none of those experiences come back and say, any of this baloney about the negative realms or any of that stuff that we hear when we check into what the psychics and the religious teachers are saying. So you get a choice. This is the beauty of the human realm. The beauty of the human realm is that you come here, you've got a left brain logic mind, also attached with the ego, that says, I will help you survive on this earth realm because it's hard and you've got to be practical and strong. There's a cynical mind, a part of that, so that you can find your next step and do the laundry here on earth. Then you've got your right brain, pure divine consciousness connection to soul, to truth, to the heart, to the higher self, to the God source. And every day as kids, we're more aligned with that right brain, with that divine knowingness coming in with joy, love, laughter, openness. And then we're trained. No, that's not good. You can't go through life that way. You've got to be logical, cynical, left-brained. And that happens in education and schools. And I love education and learning, but we all know that it's got a lot of rules about being logical and not dreamy and don't be an artist. You can't make your living doing that, but be a computer science person because then you can make your living. That is the culture shifted into the complete dominance of the left brain logic mind. So of course, when there's psychics or mediums or spiritual teachers out there who are fighting, the idea that we're all less than and we need to be punished and this is not a loving universe, that's all very logical. It aligns with the cynical mind and the ego, so you're safe if you believe in that. Then the higher soul is going, wait a minute, you know better than that. Listen to the love, follow the light. And it's our human choice. We each get to choose. Am I going to lean into the logic and then where does that take me? Or am I going to also open into the higher soul and the divine knowledge? And the truth is, we have to experience both of them, but make our choices and lean more fully into our right brain awareness. So something painful happens, we feel it, we understand it's tragic, and then we go to the higher source for understanding, for wisdom, for light, for healing. It always has to be our choice. So when we meet people who are locked down in the left brain, in the cynicism, in the negativity, they have made that choice out of fear that that is the only safe way to get through life. So all we can do is send them love, send them light, send them angels, and hope that they trust it enough to tiptoe more into their right brain awareness. That's our human dilemma here. All right, on that note, I think it's time for our guided meditation. So I'm going to take a few swigs of water and we will begin. Let me see if I can get my music going here. Hold on one second. All right, everybody. This is our meditation to rise up and feel the angels loving us, helping us, and healing us. Everyone, take a deep breath with me. And again. And again. In this moment, we feel the angels wrapping their love around us with tenderness, saying, "We cherish you. We see how hard you try again and again in that very challenging earth realm. We love you for those efforts. We love you for trusting your higher self knowingness, no matter what the world may tell you to believe in. We whisper in your ear, it is all about the love, and the love is always greater than the fear. The light is always greater than the darkness. As you trust that, we elevate you. Feel us lifting you now. Feel us bringing you into the ascension of the higher realms, carrying you through the time and space continuum, carrying you beyond the fear of the human realm, bringing you to the heavenly realms where the love, the light, the awareness, the wisdom is all that you experience. Breathe into that beautiful energy. This is your true self, your true nature. This is the divine order that rules this universe. Today we are lifting you, humans, up to meet with the God Source at the highest realms, so that you are instantly elevated, healed, and restored to your higher, all-loving consciousness that is your true nature. Feel us lifting you, carrying you up through time and space, through the healing pools and waterfalls, and up in the higher realms, to the ascendance where the God Source originates and lives, sending pure unconditional love to all of us and to all the universe, through all the galaxies. No one and no thing is outside of the flow of this unconditional love of the God. Breathe it in. Ah, it takes your breath away. It is so loving, greater than any love you've ever felt on earth, greater than the love of your child, greater than the love of a mother for your child. This is the basking, the marinating in true unconditional love, like a tidal wave of light, of healing. Ah, all is well. Yes. Feel it. Hold it in your heart. All of your struggles are gone. All of your pain is lifted. You feel free, free of all constraints. You feel completely aligned with God, with unconditional love. You feel that love emanating from your being, spreading out to the world, because you are part of the God source. You are illuminating that love for everyone. This is your mission on earth. The God source wants to remind you, this is who you are. Don't doubt it. Don't diminish it. Don't let the earth world convince you you are less than this love, this light. You are extraordinary. And now you feel and see all of your soul posse coming to hug you. Your departeds, your soul posse, the souls that are still on earth, they're all now here with you. And we're all basking in this love, this light, remembering who we are, remembering who the God source is, healing all of our wounds, removing all of our fears and doubt. Move around your soul posse, hugging and kissing everyone, no matter who they are, no matter what role they've played in your journey. Love them now, soul to soul. We are all remembering our God source connection. All is good. All is well. This is everything, this knowingness. This is all we need. This is what we now bring back with us to earth as the angelic warriors of light and love that we are meant to be on earth. We move back through time and space, taking our place back in the time and space continuum of our earth life. Reminded, restored, healed, enlightened, and leavened to our higher self again. Yes, we are greater than any challenge on earth. Yes, our heart knows everything true. And yes, we will trust this as we move through the rest of our earth life. Breathe back into your earth body. And again. All is well with your soul. That is your heaven. That is where you go to remember who you truly are. Love you all so much. And I'll see you next time.
Love you.
Love you.
I love you. Thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
Love you.